Oh my God. Look, if you're a minority in the United States, you gotta contact the Grand Wizards of the Coast and thank them because they are removing racismus from the United States of America. It was systemic, but now a big chunk of that system is gone because how can people be racist if they're playing Dungeons and Dragons and there's no racismus? There is no more racismus at the table. It has been removed. See, the game was shit, but now they have removed things from it and the game is perfect. Now it can be inclusive, right? Like, up until now, I understand that minorities, they wanted to play the game, but they were like, oh my God, like these evil thieves, oh, like half-elves? Oh, that is so I don't want to play with you guys. You guys are so racist, right? But now, that's no longer in the game. That is no longer the game, so the minorities can finally enjoy. According to Hasbro, I mean, this is their logic, all right? Like, they hired actual professionals on the benches of the American academia. They have studied hard, got a lot of student debt, and now they're paying it off by slaving at Hasbro. Is it Hasbro or is it Grand Wizards? I don't even care, you know, it is what it is. But like, look, Grand Wizards of the Coast is what I'm going to call it. In their latest step forward, I mean, look, we are progressing like a little bit more and they're going to start launching the spaceships to Alpha Centauri. They revealed that they will be removing the concept of half species because they are not comfortable. Oh my God, you need to make them comfortable. Like, comfort is very important for these people. Like, what do you mean uncomfortable? You need to take their pillow and go like plop, plop, plop and plump up the pillow to make them comfortable. So, apparently, it's racist. Oh my God, like, how do they come up to these conclusions? Like, who gets to decide what is racist or not? It's probably like a person that's very enlightened, right? Read a lot of books, studied at the university. It's kind of like in Lovecraft, right? Like, you go to the Miskatonic University and it's late at night and they're studying the books of racismus and they're delving in. It's like, oh, the horrors of America. The horrors of mankind, they're seeping into the book, they push the tendrils, they do, the shadowy tendrils of corruption. Can you imagine like how such a person must be? Like they must be mentally unhinged, right? I mean, if you study racismus every day, it must get to you. Like if playing a tabletop game that has like a little bit of, I don't know, like half species and stuff like that, like if that makes you imagine actually studying the material. Like, oh my God, like if I ever saw one of these university professors that specializes in that, I would cross the street because I would be afraid. I would legitimately be afraid. It's like, well, they read racist material all the time. It's what they delve. It's like they delve with the occult. The forthcoming update was announced at the summit where the Grand Wizards of the Coast gathered a number of notable personalities, ranging from developers to content creators, and offered them a sneak peek. Notice how they're not gathering, the people that actually buy the shit, but okay. Following a rocky start to the summit, marred with various technical difficulty issues, of course, I mean, if you hire woke people, you get... Well, you get like progressives, right? Like you get the identity, the heritage, the pedigree, the gender ideal, the cock and pussy. Like that's what you get, but you're not going to get talent because you're not hiring talent. You're hiring based on other factors and characteristics, right? So I'm not shocked that you have technical difficulty issues. But anyway, right? So the publisher hosted a demo, and eventually, after the post-demo, the Grand Wizards of the Coast, they keep sanitizing D&D. We don't send everything to the same people all the time. And apparently they have different reviewers, have different areas of expertise and experience. Everything gets sent to at least 2 people, sometimes more. The old inclusion review process has holes in it. So apparently everything is sent out, so we aren't guessing what might be a problem. Okay. Our team, our game designers and storytellers were not experts in culture and inclusion. You shouldn't be. You should... I just don't understand. Like, up until now, this was a worldwide recognized franchise. Like, literally everybody, even people in China heard about Dungeons & Dragons, right? Like, no one complained. Like, there wasn't a backlash against D&D. There was, like, nothing. Like, you guys are deciding, oh, no, inclusion is important. Why, why though? Like, you are selling copies. There's more people displeased now than there were before. I never heard like a single minority say, oh, well, I'm not going to play D&D because it's filled with that filthy racism. No one says that. You're the ones that are hiring people and they're like, oh my god, we got flying monkeys in the game? No, that's racist. Like, literally, that's a thing. Oh, we got orcs? You know, like, that used to be an analogy for the Vikings, by the way. But like, no, this is minorities. We can't have orcs that are evil. No, orcs are good. What else? Goblins. Right? So like, they're going through these things that weren't a problem before, and instead of like adding new things to the game, adding cool features, adding cool stories, they're removing stuff from the game constantly. And it's like, but I'm sorry, but like, the game was good. Like, you should have added things to it rather than remove. So apparently, that's why everything goes to the inclusion review. They literally have a censorship board now. They hire the apparatchiks. They have an ideological. The problem with this, and I will tell you, it's not even like the fact that it's woke. I speak with a lot of game developers, and I was talking with a game developer which worked at Blizzard, and he was working on another game now, and he was trying to sell it to China. Now, in order to sell it to China, you need to have like a team of Chinese censors. And in his game, he had this race of elves that lived in the desert. Sand elves, right? So the Chinese censors come up and say like, no, you can't do that. Elves live in the forest. They don't live in the desert. So he had to change it. But why? Right? Like, this is interesting because like nothing about it was a problem in China, right? The thing is, like, when you have censors and they get paid money to do the job that they do, they have to justify their living costs. So they have to censor something. Even if everything is fine, even if everything is perfect, they still need to justify why they are getting paid. So they're going to censor some bullshit. And this is what happened, right? So it's the same thing here. Like, if you're going to have, like, people that are paid in order to censor stuff, they're going to censor. If they don't find anything, they will make something up so that they can justify, like, why it's important for you to pay them. So apparently they get a full report, goes back to the reviewers. Imagine just what a nightmare it is. What an absolute nightmare it is to work at Grand Wizards of the Coast. Like, you're writing your story, and instead of like focusing on your characters and their motivations, you get the script going, it comes back, no, you're not allowed. So anyway, apparently, the new elf variants, elf, high elves, wood elves, and drow will be revised to do away with half species. We're not comfortable. Miscegenation, right? Like, you can't have that. You hire the KKK to do your game reviews. Like, how dare races mingle? We are not comfortable and haven't been for years with that option that starts with half. The half construction is inherently racist. How is it inherently racist? Like, if you have a cat, which is, I don't know, like half Maine Coon and half Bengal, is it right? Like, I can't say. Oh yeah, and by the way, they made Aragon black because, of course, I mean, why add the new black? You know, like in Lord of the Rings, there's actual black characters, but why explore them? Why bother exploring them? Nah, just give a token. I'm sure the minorities will be happy. However, despite the removal from the player handbook, he assures that if someone wants to play those characters, they'll still be able to. Well, of course they can be able to. Like, the entire concept of a tabletop RPG game is to play whatever the fuck you want. And there is nothing you can do about it. Like, in the sanctity of their own home, people can still play evil orcs. And I know it bothers you. Like, if you could stop it, you would. But there's nothing you can do about it, right? Still, the idea is that you as a company should be focused on improving the game. On making new features. On making good stuff. But it seems that your entire focus is on how to milk people by making the game as a service, online only, right? Like, to make sure that you milk them of every penny. And the second one is how you can sanitize the game. Like, these are your two main priorities. It's not to create a game that's fun to play. It's not to create a game for everyone. It's not to make sure that you can improve on the existing formula. No. It's like, how can we sanitize? How can we make it more dull and more American? How can we push American imperialism down the throat of the rest of the world by using Dungeons and Dragons as a platform? This is what you're doing. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.